Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Miss Mansa to talk about Love Island UK All-Stars, episode 3 and 4. Miss Mansa, we missed you episodes 1 and 2, but happy to have you right now. How are you doing?
Thank you. Back like I never left.
You never left, but I did miss you. So what are your thoughts this new season? We weren't that excited, but then we had the first 2 episodes. I think episode 2 was a little bit stronger, a little more successful. So
yeah, it was a little bit stronger. I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to unfold of this Callum and Molly saga. The first episode I was am I? That's what I want to know what's happening. Like, what are they doing here? Why are you here? Because it's not clear to me what either of their intentions are. And it shifts. Sometimes I feel like both of them want to rekindle. Sometimes I feel like neither of them want to rekindle. Sometimes it feels like one and not the other. But that to me is like the real driving story or force of the series so far. But I guess it remains to be seen. Yeah, the first episode, the recouplings, the public, you guys are crazy. Like, why would you do that to Jake and Liberty? Why would you do also Pat, why?
Well, and that's what we're saying with or what I was saying. I was talking with Tamika about the first 2 episodes. It's kind of like when they did the casting, didn't they maybe have in mind who should be put together? And is that what they just wanted? They just wanted to traumatize Jake and Liberty and have that was going to be entertainment for them. It's like opening an old wound. That's all that they were going for. But it was just kind of frustrating that it didn't seem like they had a good plan on who they were going to be putting together. Yeah, who they wanted to be a couple potentially.
It honestly, it seemed like they chose personalities. They chose characters.
Personalities?
Oh. I mean, I think for the women anyway, they chose some crowd favorites, right? The men, I don't know. Well, we got that with Chris. And what? Yeah, I don't really know what the rationale was for the rest of the men, but
well, they think Rich is messy, but I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
I think what has happened is that I feel like they're casting men or boys that aren't really interested in relationships or don't know how to be in a relationship or don't know how to pursue a woman for a relationship. And so the dynamic is really off. And
why are the girls grafting? Why? Why were they doing anything? Sorry, not only is this your second time, so you already have done this before, but you're not putting in any effort. What is wrong with Toby? That's what I want to know. In this episode, we'll get into it, but it even became more clear. I'm like, I don't know that Toby is equipped to date at all.
Exactly. It's so frustrating because that's what was kind of fun about Love Island is that I was always the UK boys are always grafting and they're I'll put you for a chat and they're showing their interest. And I was like, yeah, there's so much more forward than I felt with the USA guys because it wasn't really in the USA kind of dating lifestyle. That's not just their style, I find, comparatively to the UK. And so when I see this last couple of seasons even of the UK, I'm like, the guys aren't as forward with their pursuit in women as they had been from my experience or what I recognized on the show in the past. And so I'm like, do you think, okay, I have a slight theory.
Okay.
Tamika and I had been talking about this theory in seasons past, but because some of these men and women's formative dating years, they were in lockdown. They were online for some of them were their last year of high school or their first 2 years of university. They're at home. So I'm wondering if they haven't learned how to interact with people because those formative years were kind of stunted for the fact that they didn't get to naturally be in the world and be amongst people at at the age of 20, 21, 22.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good theory, but what about Lewis?
I'm giving them something, okay?
Exactly. What about Lewis? Toby, we saw him before pandemic. He was on his season predated the lockdown.
But he still kind of wasn't great, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think the reason that we're seeing this is the same reason that these people are still single and available to be on the program, right? It's like maybe they're broken, and that's why they haven't been able to successfully find relationships.
Well, and what's also interesting is that I don't find that they exude sex appeal. Some of them, like Lewis does. I think Lewis is a little bit different. I think that he knows that he's very attractive, and he doesn't have to do that much, and people will flock to him, right? And he was also as a football player, so he's probably always had girls all over him. And he has 2 baby mamas, so he knows how to.
Oh yes, I've been seeing the TikToks up in arms about that.
Ooh, it's like, why are you on Love Island? Why aren't you taking care of your children? I'm like, uh-oh. So I think Lewis, I do think knows how to get a girl. But some of the others, I'm like,
Like, how does Chris have the most riz out of every single man on the show? Like, nobody expected that.
I don't. And like I almost think that he's flopping a bit at the end of the second episode or episode 4. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if you have as much riz as I thought you did in the beginning, but it could be because I think he got too big for his britches and he's not going for who I think he should have gone for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
All right, so what happened? Episode 3, we see Mitch and Georgia Harrison talking. Did you do any research about Georgia Harrison?
I did, I read into her a little bit, and I found out, I mean, you told me about her her sex tape scandal, so I did a little bit of deep diving into her. And I feel like Mitch also did too much research into her. And that is what really messed up that dynamic, because you can't come to someone like a fan and then expect them to see you as an equal.
It's so bad. And that's like, if you've ever seen any TikToks of people being like, if you want to manifest a celebrity as like your partner, you can't put them on a pedestal like they're a celebrity. They have to just be a person, because as soon as you put them on a pedestal as being a celebrity, then they can't be themselves around you. And so I was just like, I see Mitch putting Georgia on this pedestal, and she's thinking like he's acting like she's Beyonce or something, and she thinks it's weird. Yeah. It is weird.
It is weird, right? Because
especially he's just on the show. It's not like
we're here together living in the same shared dormitory bedroom. Like, I'm not so inaccessible. And also it makes her, I mean, I would assume it would make her feel like, oh, you're just looking at me as if this, like, I'm this spectacle. Like, you're not seeing me as an actual human being, right?
Yeah, it's more like, wow, like I'm with Georgia, like I've seen her season, and it's like, most people don't want to date a fan.
No, absolutely not. You can't.
It's kind of uncomfortable. So Chris and Molly has a little conversation, and okay, what's with the snorting? Is that her to seem endearing and like?
Do you think it's fake? I thought that was really the first time she felt joy.
Maybe, but okay, maybe after that though, I felt it was being put on a little bit, because like, I don't know, I just think that it seemed a little bit calculated.
I think he's bringing a different side out of her than we've ever seen, right?
Okay,
like we'll get there, but I think we see in this most recent episode she talks a little bit of what she's used to, and I think that Chris is really throwing her off her game. Like, she doesn't know how to engage with someone who is like a funny, flirty guy like that, right?
Okay. You know what? Okay, I'll give you that. But I guess because like, it just seemed to me like she was trying to just be quirky and not be like, I know I'm super gorgeous, but like I snort. Like, you know what I mean? A little bit, but I can see where you're coming from, that maybe it's genuine. And
like, I'm a relatable girl.
It's so relatable, even though I'm drop dead gorgeous, Anyways, a little bit like that. But he says that he enjoyed the 3-way kiss minus Lewis's beard, and he thought it was a nice kiss for the most part. What do you think of that? What do you think about that game? Any? What do you think about Kaz straddling Lewis in the game?
I thought it was bold, and I was glad that she did that, because she really was putting herself out there. And she's like, this is who I like. I'm interested in him, and I'm taking my chance now. She's not sitting back and like playing second.
I'm happy that she did it as well. I just wish that she had more options in the damn villa.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, I'm glad that she's going for Lewis, but it's unfortunate that he's the only person that she's interested in, because I do not see it for them as a couple at all. And that was very obvious to me, even from this game when she started straddling him and like their early conversations. It always seems to me like he's just, I'm performing, keeping my options open, but I'm not really invested.
Well, yeah, my options are open, but none of my options are directed towards you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Basically. Anton and Georgia still have a conversation. This is another weird potential coupling.
What is wrong with Georgia? Like, just tell me, just say you don't like him. You don't like him. You're all in for Toby. I don't know why she's doing this to him.
I don't know if she's all in for Toby, but she likes Toby more than she likes Anton.
Oh, of course, 100%.
And I think it literally is just the age factor. Like I think she said 29, and she's 25. Toby is 24. I think also she doesn't like that Toby doesn't graft.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is a sign of immaturity for her. I wish she just would say that to him. Just be like, listen, you don't pursue me like a man.
Yeah. Yeah. But because he's expecting for the women to pursue him as well, right?
I remember we had a problem about this in Love Island Games.
Exactly. He said it in games. He said it already here, and I'm like, what are they pursuing you for? Like, you need to give them something back.
Well, and then Anton, I don't know who he was saying this to, but he feels as though he's done everything right, but it's still not enough.
Oh, and I think it was when he was speaking to Hannah.
How has he done everything right, and how is it like? You can't force who people have known longer than you or are more attracted than you are. Like, it just, sometimes puzzle pieces don't fit. Yeah. And so the fact that he's kind of getting down on himself, it's also a little bit unattractive.
But I think that that's his problem in general, and was his problem on his season and will continue to be, is that Anton seems to think that there is this perfect way to go about things. Like, there is a checklist of like dressing, behaving, and just existing that's going to get me the girl. I mean, we can see it already this season, right? Like, on his season, he was very rambunctious, super high energy. And you can tell that someone gave him the note, like, dial it back, be a bit more calm. Girls like a guy who's a bit more laid back. And so he's doing that with his little glasses, like Clark Kent. And it's still not working for him. And he's frustrated. I'm like, it's not about all of like ticking all these boxes. It's about a connection, right? And absolutely, there just isn't a connection.
And I think that that's also what the issue is with actually a lot of the cast. Even I think Liberty has a little bit of an issue with the connection part of things. Like, she thinks just because she decides that she likes somebody that it means that they're going to have a connection, or that she feels the connect. Okay, in fairness, whenever I felt a connection, the other person has as well.
Yeah.
But I guess she's very used to this unrequited love. And so she might, the feeling that she's getting might just be the red flag, actually. And it's not an actual connection.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, but in the case of Liberty and Mitch, I really do see a connection between them. I mean, he's sitting there saying, like, he's really interested. He wants her to be his girlfriend, all that. Like, the chats that he has with her, he's very flirtatious. They had that whole moment about breaking the touch barrier. They had all of that going on, and so I understand why she would think that this is a genuine connection based on his behavior.
I can agree with that, to be fair. Anton, though, still is kind of upset because he doesn't feel like he's Georgia's number one choice. And it's kind of like, you're not. She knew him before you.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
Exactly.
So Lewis and Demi are another duo that I find interesting.
Okay.
And he does say that he does say that he likes she says that he likes her and Kaz and me and Molly, and so she mentions the Kaz thing. But from the episode before, I was like, he's not into Kaz at all. And so all of a sudden now Kaz's name has been brought into who Lewis is considering, and I think that might be a producer addition, that like he's probably like, no, I'm not interested. I'm interested in Molly and Demi. And they're like, well, Kaz is interested in you, so
Yeah.
Can you just be
I mean,
interested in her a little bit more
I
as well?
feel like also it could just be a tactic to keep
Trying to
Demi on
everybody
her
like him.
toes, right? Because he doesn't want to say, I put all my eggs in one basket and then get you excited. I want, to make you feel like you're working for it, which seems very much like his personality to me,
Yep.
right? And
But he does say to her, like, he's 1,000,000% interested in her. And he does also says that he doesn't bite. I'm like, he's flirty with Demi. He's not very flirty with
he's
Kaz.
very flirty with Demi. And that's how I could tell that he was not interested in Kaz, because you can see it from the conversations that they have. He seems he seems laid back in both situations, and he's not really putting in a ton of effort for either of them, but he has a bit more like cheekiness to him when he's talking to Demi.
100%. And I feel like it's more like he's trying to politely put Kaz in the friend zone.
Exactly.
Liberty does talk to Kaz, of course, about what's going on with her and Mitch, and she says she has trust issues. And I think that it's not trust issues with the guy. I think she's not trusting herself, her own gut, her own, directional pointer as to what's a good match for her. And I think that's what she's not trusting.
Yeah, she has poor discernment. That's what Liberty, the problem is that you don't know what is actually good for you.
Yeah, exactly. But she's, Kaz is saying, just carry on, just go with the flow, don't think too much. And it's hard in a situation like Love Island where you're going to have to be grafting, you're going to have to be recoupling and coupling up, and if you don't, you might get dumped from the island. So I get like the panic that sets in. It's harder to go with the flow, but don't choose Mitch. I mean, she doesn't have any other real choices. But
at this point, I can understand why she's choosing Mitch, right?
Yeah.
And if she had the capacity to be a bit more easy breezy, laid back about it, there would be no issue with her choosing Mitch and just kind of seeing where things go. But we know Liberty, and we know that her choosing Mitch means that she's falling in love with him, and that anything negative that comes down the line is going to be the ultimate heartbreak for her.
Yeah, and we can see it coming. So they're all getting ready for bed, and we see Anton really just stoking the fire, asking Molly if her and Callum were rekindling things. And she kind of was a little bit annoyed that he was asking her that. But it's like, you're on a TV show with your ex, and you're the only storyline that's going on right now. Sorry, Molly.
Absolutely. Like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing here? But also just for everyone else, like, are you guys free game or not? Because if I was in that villa, I would want to know what's going on with Callum, because he is my number one.
Yeah, I think right now he's the most attractive person. Well, I think Lewis, face-wise, is attractive. I don't like his veneers, but I think he's the best looking face-wise, in my opinion. And then second would be Callum for me, I think.
Yeah, I just love how Callum has that like really just kind of like laid back, kind of like just gentleness about him. I mean, people call it dopey, but I don't know. There's just something very endearing and sweet about him.
Okay. I guess it's kind of like like puppy doggy.
Exactly. Big puppy dog energy.
Like not Labrador, but like he's a little bit of like maybe a Labradoodle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely Labradoodle. I see the doodle.
Yeah, because like Labradoodle, I find like they're always just a little bit smaller and like a little bit like little cuter, like puppy cuter.
Yeah.
So Georgia is trying to tease Toby, being like, there may be a time when we don't share a bed. And then he says, you always just go straight to the negative. And then they kind of kiss and cuddle a little bit. I'm like, she was flirting with you, Toby.
Yeah, she was trying to light a fire under him. She wasn't trying to be negative. She was trying to say, like, like time is of the essence.
Yeah, I don't take this for granted. Like, we're in bed like she was wanting to get some mojo out of you, and then you just like brush it off, be like, just go to the negative. And like, she wasn't going to the negative, man. He
just doesn't, he doesn't pick up on her cues well, right? He's not picking up on her cues. He's misinterpreting like what she's saying and her intentions. And I think that he's the one that is constantly always going to the negative. And that's why he's not understanding the energy she's putting towards him.
Like if like, I feel like with the response, one of the responses she could have got from him would be like, "Oh, I guess that's too bad. Like, you know, this is the last time you might be laying in bed here next to me." You know, like some sort of flirt back, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or even being like, "Okay, well then we're gonna have to make the most of it then." Who knows?
Yes, exactly.
Anyways, like Hannah needs to start teaching him how to flirt.
Yeah, he needs to. But is Hannah gonna be the one? She's gonna start the school. She's gonna be the teacher of the villa. Because I don't want that for her.
I'd rather it for her than for all these men to not be interested in her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just to see her just kind of get pied all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't feel like they want to look at her. Like I feel like she.
I mean, they're trying to avoid staring directly into the cavern between her bosoms. Like
it's so funny. I sent to Tamika yesterday or the day before, whenever we talked. I was like, her boobs are ginormous. Like they're really, really big. She's like,
I had to take a photo because I was like,
she said I didn't notice.
They're as big as my head. Like one each is as big as my head.
They're so big. I don't know how you cannot notice. Yeah, they're probably just like, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to look.
He's like, so I'm gonna look away.
Either that or like look at her lips. And like if you look at someone's lips, it means that you're gonna want to try to kiss them. And so like they're probably just like, I don't know what to do here.
Exactly.
It's too much. These poor guys can't handle all of that at all. So Toby and Georgia were kind of cuddling and smooching in bed a little bit. And I don't know if Anton was actually watching, but they got a shot of him looking seemingly in that direction. I was just like, so awkward.
Yeah. Ugh, poor Anton.
So in the morning, Hannah, okay, so in the morning, Hannah was liking Kaz's, it was actually a really cute onesie. It was like a little jumper, but it was like a bodysuit pajama. And so
that was like, really cute. I liked that. And she did a little twerk on the bed.
She did a little twerk, but who's beside her? Who's Mitch is beside her? Yeah. I think that she was too much woman twerking for Mitch because he was just like
he couldn't handle it. But I do want to know where she bought that because I immediately asked her.
I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, so cute. Yeah. Love that Luke. It makes me want to go for like a slumber party in the woods or something.
Right?
Like in a cabin.
Like, I'm camping.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the fire? And like wearing fuzzy socks or something. Georgia is meditating and Jake decides to come over and join her. He's never meditated before, but
that's when I knew he was down bad because what are you doing, sir?
I guess, yeah. I thought it was interesting. Maybe he was trying to leave beforehand, and they're just like, just stay a little bit. Like, go see what George is doing, and he goes and meditates with her. And then after he's saying how amazing he feels, he's going to continue doing it. I was like, it's just interesting. Like, I meditate, so like I get it, but I just thought it was a very interesting moment for him to meditate for the first time on television with Georgia.
Yeah, right? It was like too perfectly timed.
Especially with what happens shortly after. So Toby, Kaz, and Liberty are having a talk, and she wants to keep Mitch on her toes. And I guess just Liberty doesn't know how to... I don't know if it's how to keep a man or like get a man or get him interested. Like, I'm not sure what it is, or if it's the men that she's trying to pursue. She doesn't have the tools to be able to get them in. Like, I don't know. What is it?
I think that her problem is that, well, I don't think it's a problem because it won't be a problem for the right person. It's just that she's too eager, right? And when they know that they can have her, that's when they put her on the back burner, right? Because with Mitch, I felt like he was really into it. But then with Demi, she was being a bit more coy, a bit more flirty in a different way.
Well, because she had other options. And you always have to have another option because, and my mom says, I think we talked about this before, and it's a little bit slightly toxic, but always have the man like you just a little bit more than you like them.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit. And so I think that you hit the nail on the head, is that they always know that she's into them.
Exactly. And because she makes it so obvious. And like she does, as she says, she wears her heart on her sleeve.
Yeah, well, that heart's going to get stomped on often if she continues with that, but hopefully she'll learn soon.
Yeah.
And then again, we hear Toby saying that he is open. And I'm just like, I'm just done with Toby and his style of dating.
No, like, Toby's annoying. I want Toby to be dumped from the island. When is the first dumping? Please, someone let me know.
Soon, because we know after the episode 4, there's going to be a recoupling. So maybe a couple days from tomorrow. So maybe Monday.
Yeah, I would honestly, if Toby left, I would not feel any way about it.
He does stir the pot a little bit with other people, but his storyline is flat.
Yeah.
So Chris with this, with the feeling. I'm like, what the feeling, spatula? What am I talking about? When he's going around the circle and making everybody talk with the feeling spatula. Well, Hannah's saying that she wants someone to come in for her. And like, I do too, but I don't know if Hannah 2.0 is going to find somebody in the Love Island world for her.
Yeah, I'm really wondering. I'm trying to rack my brain and think about the Love Island universe and who that is available and single that would be there for her. Do you think they're going to bring back John?
Jonathan?
Jonathan, yeah.
Is he still is he single?
I
Didn't
feel
he
like
treat her poorly? What happened?
He did, but has he matured? I feel like there could be an opportunity for them to.
I really love them together.
I love them together, and that's the thing is, I feel like she needs a personality like that. Either that, or who was the one that was with the Jack that was with Danny with the teeth?
Jack with Danny.
I think it was in season 3. Like I can't remember what his name. Jack with the teeth. He had his veneers were buck wild.
Oh my god, I don't know. Jack. Season 3, Love Island.
Oh yeah, and they had a whole like after the Love.
Oh, Island. That Jack. That was with what's
Jack
her name?
Fincham, yeah. I feel like he could go with
Danny.
It's like she needs like one of those like Essex cheeky chappy kind of vibes. Like that.
Like Essex guys are going to like her look, right? Because that's kind of like the Essex girls look, or rich Geordie Shore ex-cast members.
Exactly. Who's available? Well, I saw that Gaz just got divorced, so.
Gaz is so shocking to me because I find him to be so unattractive.
He is.
And like he gets all the girls. Now I heard that maybe he's well endowed.
And that's what gives him the confidence.
I guess, but like he's borderline like unattractive in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I mean, I obviously I chose my side in that dispute. I'm obviously Team Charlotte, so it's fuck Gaz forever.
What happened in that dispute? Like
well, just over the many courses of the seasons, he just treated her disrespectfully, and I chose to stand with Charlotte. Regardless,
of baby now, right?
She does. Oh my, that baby is so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my God. I saw a photo on Instagram the other day. I was like, what a gorgeous baby.
I like Charlotte, but I really don't like when she like gross woman dances. Like when she like gets on like a bikini and she started like holding her fat and like I'm like I don't do it.
That's what I loved about her. Like I think it was one of the first episodes of Geordie that I watched, and she was like wasted and pissing in a sink. And I was watching with a friend. They're like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "This is my genre. This is what I want to see. I want to see drunk party girls peeing on stuff."
I mean, on the show it's totally fine, but no, it's when she does all of her TikToks and like Instagram stories about like her just acting really goofy and silly.
Yeah,
but I do like Charlotte though in general.
Yeah,
actually, I like most of the Geordie Shore women. They're I actually kind of like them. Strangely enough. So Hannah, I hope that someone comes in for her, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So Chris says he's had many situations kind of going on in the villa. So he's kind of into Demi. He's kind of into Molly. I don't remember him mentioning Georgia Harrison. I felt that they were going to hit it off.
Yeah, I thought so. Because when they were matched up together, I felt like they were flirting initially and they had something. And maybe, I don't know what happened. I guess he was distracted by Demi? I can't even really remember now. Like, but it just seemed like they never really gave it a chance.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like because she loves like weird, funny people, and I feel like he would do that for her. But she does also like high energy, and so he might be too. He's funny, but like, he might be too laid back. Like she likes someone that's gonna like do something wild with her and like run around and be a little bit more energetically humorous. But he's a little bit more like chill humor.
So she wants like a, what's the word? Physical comic.
Well, more so, you know what I mean? Like maybe if you started to do the salmon, like she'll be like, oh.
She's like, that's my man.
Yeah,
like, that's so sad. Seeing a man do the salmon, be like, that's it. That's it for me.
That's my guy. But like, it's just like she likes more energy. I know she's kind of chill right now, but she is, I believe, a Sagittarius, so she's gonna want some adventure. You know what I mean? Like,
so then maybe her and Anton, maybe that could be a real thing.
Do we know Anton's sign? Hold on. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I know we're gonna get to that shortly, but I don't know if Anton has the swag though for her.
No, he doesn't. You know? He absolutely doesn't. He needs someone who is.
He has 1 million followers.
Who? Anton?
Yes. Wow.
You know what? He gave us a lot of memes. So.
But wow. Like, I guess like to them, 1 million followers means that's an all-star, right?
Yeah. Well, because think about it, right? Like there's a way bigger population in the UK. And then, so the show is hugely popular there. But then as the American version took off, I think that it became very popular in the US as well. So like there's more people getting into it. Also, I think after the success of Euphoria, because in Euphoria, I can't remember what season it is, there's an episode where Zendaya is laying in bed just watching the UK version of Love Island like for an entire day. So I think that it introduced many more people to the program.
So it looks like Anton is a Virgo and Sag.
No, not gonna work.
Not in my opinion. Like everything works until it doesn't. So not saying that it can't work, but I would put other combinations to be a more likely success before this one. Yeah, I think like Mitch would be, I know she likes Mitch a little bit. Mitch would definitely be a better match for her. He's a Gemini, but he's also younger. I think
Mitch really shot himself in the foot with his like fanning out over her.
Yeah, definitely. She wants like a man that's like, she wants to be matching someone else's energy, not someone matching hers, you know? Yeah. I think. What am I talking about here? Mitch and Demi. Oh, your eyes are unreal. Are they green? He's calling her sexy pants. Like, and then he also mentioned that he liked her before the season. So, like, is this his shtick?
I don't know. Maybe. But also, Demi, that was too easy. So he called you sexy pants, and that was it. Like, that's all it took for you to get a giggle. I don't know about Mitch. I think that he's getting a bit too big for his britches in this episode.
100%. Because, like, I think that he has so many options, and like he doesn't realize that like they might actually also just be humoring you. You don't just get to make this decision.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mitch does go and pull Liberty for a chat, and he's laying it on thick, saying girls as pretty as you shouldn't have such a good personality. And so like he's kind of complimenting her, but wasn't he also just basically saying that he wanted to call in on Demi?
He's been saying the same thing to all of them. Like he says to all of them, "You're so pretty. I want you to be my girlfriend. Like I see that this, like you're the best connection." And maybe this is how he thinks how he has to behave to keep his options open, is tell each different woman that they're his favorite. But in messy Mish fashion, it's going to blow up in his face.
Absolutely, and it would be delicious. But Demi, though, on her side, she's vibing the most with Lewis and Mitch. But like you could tell that it's more with Lewis. Like she's more sexually attractive to Lewis.
You can tell, Mitch. Yeah.
So Georgia and Toby have another conversation, and this is Georgia Harrison talking about Chloe, and Toby saying that he didn't have any trust anymore for Chloe. And Georgia's like, well, what happened? And he just wouldn't say what happened. He said there was a big incident. So did you do any research there?
I didn't do any research. I did a little bit of like scrolling on the timeline to see what Twitter was saying about it. And everyone just kind of jumped to the conclusion that Chloe cheated, but nobody was providing any receipts. But given what we know about Toby, I personally think that he might have just been reading into a situation incorrectly, right? Because he doesn't seem the most secure. He seems like he needs his partner to give him a lot of attention, a lot of affirmation. And I think that failing to do that might have just caused him to spiral and then feel like the situation is unrepairable, because Chloe is a way bigger personality. She's got a podcast, she's out, she's doing events. And like, I could see it easily being a situation of she has events and other things to do and not.
And she's a Libra.
Exactly. Not giving him enough attention. And then now he thinks like, you don't care about me, so it's over.
Yeah, he definitely, I think I can agree with that, as I jump to the conclusions, especially with like you said, her being an extrovert and being, she's being forward. She is very flirty. And like, he seems to think that when people flirt, it means that they're into them for sure. And sometimes people flirt for fun, especially Libras.
Absolutely, especially Libras. I have a Libra rising, and I can.
Are you a flirt?
I'm very flirty, and the funny thing is I didn't even realize that I was so flirty until other people started clocking it. Like when I'm in the store, just like talking to a salesperson, they're like, "Did you mean to flirt with them?" I was like, "Oh, I was just chatting." That's just how I chat. Is that flirty?
Yeah, and so like you don't notice people giving you eyes and stuff.
I mean, but everyone gives me eyes. I don't know what to do.
Because you're flirting with them all the time. Hilarious. But he probably is mistaking that for her pursuing them, because he feels that the women has to pursue him all the time. And so, yeah, I think that he mistook Chloe being who she is for as pursuing somebody,
looking for something that she wasn't looking for.
And you know what, though? Maybe she was actually pursuing somebody else, because he was probably not satisfying her in the relationship area.
He seems so immature. It like, I understand that when we met him on his season, he hadn't had a relationship yet, but then he went on to be in a relationship with Chloe for a couple of years, and somehow it seems like he's regressed.
Well, he doesn't really, like, he got into that relationship in an unnatural situation, and it was Chloe like really being forceful and wanting him. Like, I think she came in as a bombshell. She chose him, took him out of his relationship with Kaz, and like, you know what I mean? She went for it. And then he bounced around with that other girl, and then she wanted him back, and then he had to kind of graft a little bit. But I think that he just doesn't know how to get a girl.
Yeah, no, basically.
And because the first relationship he has, she got him.
But it's interesting, though, that he doesn't know how to get a girl, given that Tyreek is his best friend.
But Tyreek has swagger, and he's an Arab.
But that's what I'm saying, is how can you be hanging with Tyreek all this time and you haven't picked up anything?
Well, I mean, maybe he thinks he's doing what Tyreek is doing.
That's crazy. No self-awareness, then.
Well, like, Tyreek knows how to get a girl.
Or maybe he's just been picking up, Tyreek strays this whole time, so he thought he had game. Because, like, Tyreek was the one that was doing all the work.
Maybe. Doesn't Tyreek have another friend? Who's the other friend of Tyreek's? Did we just meet one?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I feel like we just met another one of his friends. Or maybe it was always Toby. I'll see if I remember, if it comes to me. So then Chris is giving Molly a massage, And okay, so Molly apparently is a massage therapist, I think she says.
Is that what she said? Because I heard her say misuse.
Oh, masseuse.
I know, but like she meant to say masseuse, but she said misuse.
I didn't catch that.
And I was like, is that?
Maybe a masseuse is maybe it's like they say in Montreal, barmaid.
Yeah.
So maybe like a masseuse is like slang in England. I don't know. I didn't clock it though. I thought she just said masseuse.
No, she said misuse, and I was like, okay.
And so he was kind of asking her about her and Callum, but like she doesn't really give anything. She says that she's still getting to know everyone. Then they switch positions, and she starts giving him a massage. I need to know Molly's intentions as well.
That's what I was so confused about, right? Because Chris asked you, firstly, can I climb on top of you? Can I remove the strap? She did it herself. So all of the messages, all of the energy that she's putting towards him is saying, like, I'm open to this, right? Like it was a very sensual massage exchange. So I can understand why then Chris would later pull her, but like in this episode 4, I'm sure we'll get to it, the vibe seems to be changing, and I don't know what she wants. Like, what does she want? Was she just playing a game and trying to see if she could get a reaction out of Callum? Because
I think so.
If that's the case, get her off.
Some rumors are saying that they may have broken up for the show. I know that they broke up a little while ago, but they have said, I haven't checked for myself, that they still have pictures of each other on each other's Instagrams and stuff like that. So me and Tamika were speculating that maybe this is a whole ploy because apparently the reason why they broke up was because she was pressuring him to get married, and he wanted to still not be single necessarily, but he didn't want to take it to that level. So that might have been one of the reasons, one of the fights that they had when they were breaking up. So if this breakup was fake, what if they're trying to do a proposal at the end of the season?
Ew. I don't want that.
I can see it though, right?
Yeah, but I don't want that.
It's probably going to happen then. If we don't want it, it's going to happen.
Oh.
So Chris is Liberty's second option. I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Not a good
I mean, maybe it was in her head the whole time, but she never really communicated it. Because has she even spoken to him?
Not that I've seen.
No, exactly. So, I mean, I guess like everyone else, they saw him, they see how he behaves, and they're like, we love him. But that really came out of left field for me. And does Chris even know you're interested? Because Liberty, you've been talking to Mitch and about Mitch this whole time.
No, he has absolutely no idea. But Liberty does see Mitch and Demi, and so she's like starting to feel like, oh, I think that Mitch might be a little bit more into Demi, but she doesn't want to push. I'm like, man, she doesn't know how to get a guy. I know she's young still, but like, she doesn't know how to play the game well. Yeah, you shouldn't even need to play the game. Like, she just doesn't know how to do it. I don't know how to teach her either. What does she need to do? She
needs to calm down. And I think she needs to let men
more,
be
more not standoffish, but less available.
Exactly. Absolutely. She needs to be less available. I know it's hard because I have been Liberty. I've been that person, and I've like had that same kind of energy. And, you go around being like, oh, it's just who I am. It's just who I am. But also like what she needs? She needs therapy. Because she needs to really figure out why at her core she
needs to be validated.
She needs this like validation that she thinks she's getting. And anytime anyone gives her attention, she thinks like this is what's is going to be a good relationship. And instead of allowing them to actually show her with their behaviors that they are actually invested, because she's making up these relationships in her mind, essentially.
But she's a Virgo. Pisces do that, but maybe Virgos do it as well because they are sister signs.
I mean, here I am, a Pisces, reformed, trying to be.
Well, or learned.
Yes, a learned Pisces, a thoroughly therapized Pisces.
Exactly. So you understand that you ruminate and you create, illusions.
So much of my life has been creating relationships out of, well, we were in a class together and he looked at me and then he asked me for this after class. So basically, we are in love now.
Oh my God, it reminds me though, my best friend in high school, she had one of those crushes that like she was obsessed with this older guy, Brian Armstrong, and like he was really cute. Like he had this long hair and like he's the cutest face and he was an amazing visual artist. And I don't know if they ever talked, but she was in love with him. Like she wrote songs. She's a songwriter, wrote songs
this
about
is
him.
very triggering because I 100% have a couple of similar stories. I had a crush in high school. I genuinely don't think I spoke to him until after we left high school. But during high school, I had such a crush on him. Like the entire school knew that I had a crush on him.
Yeah, it's like
I was convinced that the only reason why he was not in love with me was because he had not seen me properly. So I would just bump into him, like physically walk into him in the hospital, always, and then look up like.
You're calculating your own meet cute.
And then he started dating one of my friend's older sisters and was like, "You're friends with Mansa, right? Can you tell her to stop walking into me?" And even then I wasn't like, "Oh no, he doesn't love me." I was like, "So you mean he's seen me and
he knows
we're
who I
still
am?
Not in love?
He knows my name?
He knows my yeah." Whew. Wow, shout out to that guy. He really went through a lot.
Did you later on? Did you like meet up with him again and be like, "Whoa, what was wrong with you?"
What's funny is actually many years later, when we were all in university, I think we were home one summer at like the local bar, and he did try to hit on me. But at that point, like I had my glow up, like I'd been to university, like I'd been getting guys left and right. So when he came towards me, then I was like, I'm over it. I was like, you had your chance, sir, and we're not doing it.
You were so 10 years ago.
Exactly. Literally.
I do love that, but like I'm also so like mortified for you. But like
no. I wasn't even embarrassed. Like, it only like occurred to me recently how embarrassing that behavior was. But at the time I was like, wow, weird that so he just doesn't love me. But, like,
what were your friends saying to you?
Honestly, shout out to my friends. Like they really support my delusions and they've been doing it for a long time.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. You should write a movie about that.
I'm working on it.
It's so good. Was Chris and Lewis don't think that Callum is too pressed about Molly. I can't figure out what Callum Callum as well is kind of holding his cards close to his chest. Like, do you like her or not? You coupled up with her, okay. And I feel like it would be disrespectful if he coupled up with anybody else in that moment. I didn't think he had a choice there, but he did choose to couple up with her. And now where does all the rest of the guys in the villa stand?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point, right? Because every single one of those men is interested in Molly because they've decided that she is the number one, which I actually don't know if I agree with. I think she's a beautiful girl, but like, I don't personally see it for her like that. But you can tell that Callum. No, she doesn't really have a personality. But these guys are young, so they're still at an age where. Well, and also men are more visual, as they say. So the aesthetics is really all that matters to them at this point. But with Callum, I was really unsure because he's telling us on one side of his mouth that he did it out of respect, right? And that's the only reason why. But then if we think about how he's moving, we haven't seen him speak to a single woman.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what his type was because remember he got roped into that relationship with Shauna. And like, I don't know if he was allowed to talk to anybody else while he was under her clutches. And then Molly was Casa Moore girl. And so they got together there.
She freed him from the shackles and he's just been with her ever since.
So I don't know what his type really even is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't either.
I'm not sure what he's into.
And I don't know what his personality is either.
Yeah, I don't know that he has one.
Is that what's going on? There's nobody with personalities in this damn villa?
Yes. I mean, but that's why Chris is getting all the girls. Chris is the only one with the personality.
It's 100%. So Mitch and Toby are talking. Mitch says he does like Lib and he does like Demi and he says it's 50-50. And then right after he says, you know what? When I think about it, no, it's Demi. I'm like,
okay,
fine, Mitch. But Demi is also out of his league. Even though I don't personally find Demi's personality attractive. I think aesthetically she's beautiful, of course. But like her vibe isn't my vibe, like a hottie. And so, but I think, and I think that obviously Liberty is actually his vibe and his level. And like, I think that they would have something good. I don't know why he's trying to go for Demi when I don't see them vibing.
No, I don't think so at all. Like, I actually see the chemistry between him and Liberty. I think that they both have this kind of like immature kind of playfulness about them that would really mesh well. I think Demi has a little bit about that, but a little bit of that, but she, you know, is a bit more mature and she is a bit more self-assured, which is why I think that she would kind of pair better with a Chris or a Lewis. But yeah, my one comment about Demi is aesthetic, because I do love her looks. Her makeup. We need to like ease up on the contour, because I know gingers, it's a very difficult thing. They're always trying to either hide their freckles or do something, but like Demi, please.
Does she have freckles? I haven't seen her bare face. So
this is the thing about a ginger, is you never know what they really look like. Because they're always trying to cover up all of their skin and avoid all their freckles, and then in doing so they like paint on a whole new face, and I just would love her to put the contour down.
I mean, I would like to see a scrubbed face Demi. I mean, I'm like, if she wants to, like, I don't want to be telling people how to wear the makeup, whatever, but like I just body shame. But I don't know what she looks like, and like she has a beautiful face. I would like to just for a second, you can put your makeup on after.
And even the fake tan. I mean, it's easy for us as women of color to say that let go of the fake tan. But watching her conversation with Mitch, there was a moment where Demi and Mitch were talking, and all I could see was just this dark smudge of fake tan up the front of her shin, and like it always has that kind of like orangey, gray, greeny hue. And I'm like, really? That's better? You think that's better than being pale? I don't know.
Yeah, I just kind of want to give her a little scrub.
A little scrub.
Now, is this as bad as when people say to me, like, oh, you should wear your hair in a fro?
Ooh, you know what? Exactly. Who are we? I'm just
wondering.
No, but that's a very good point, because if you tell me that,
when people say that to me, though, my hair is actually not even that curly and that kind of curly. And so when people are like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, I'm like, well, I actually can't have a fro. Like, I don't have curly hair that's fro. Like, it's not super straight. I do get it relaxed, but like, I can't. My hair is just really wavy, but it's not. It's not coily at all.
Yeah,
and so like, it's annoying. Go ahead.
When people say that to me, I'm just like, your idea of what my hair looks like natural and what it actually looks like natural are clearly not. Because my hair looks great in a fro when it is freshly washed for exactly 5 to 10 minutes when it is still damp. And then it slowly shrinks into one unit.
It's like,
I'm like, I can't do it. So
exactly, it's like, don't tell me how to do my hair. So maybe don't tell me how to deal with her freckles. Okay, sorry, Demi.
So exactly, Demi. Who are we to tell you, a ginger, how to live your ginger life?
Fair, but I just want to see what it looks like.
Exactly. Oh my God, we're now we are all of those people. It's like, I just want to see your hair natural.
Like, can I touch it? No. So they're all getting ready for the night. Lewis is also thinking that Demi is who he's interested in. Kaz makes the toast. And Jake calls everyone to the fire pit. I was like, okay, Let's go. Wrap it up. And he doesn't want to waste anybody's time. And so he's going to be leaving tonight. Everybody's like, no. He does pull Liberty for a chat and she's crying. And, he doesn't want to lead anyone on. And it's go ahead.
The way that she was crying when he made that announcement, I'm like, Liberty, you dated this man for 2 weeks on TV 3 years ago. Okay. Man, you're treating it like this was like a substantial ex, like you've got history, like you knew his family, like.
Well, maybe I was gonna say that she's never been in the villa without him, but she has. She just did Love Island Games.
Exactly.
Now, do you think that they're not allowed to mention Love Island Games?
I think so. Yeah, because I remember seeing
explain it up to Anton, like, hey, I just spent time with Toby and we're coupled up in another show. Like, that's why I have a connection with him. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I saw some promo for Allstars, and they actually specifically referenced games, and the tagline was, "We don't know her." So I feel like they have told any of the cast members who were on games that they cannot mention games.
The more superior show at this point. I can't believe, though, Love Island UK has allowed the US to make a superior product.
I don't think that they really thought that they would. I think that they said, you're going to do your little show and nobody's going to care about it. So whatever, do your little games. But I don't think they expected the sort of like the way that it was received, right?
It was so good. It was so good. And they had time to fix their cast.
Yeah.
They had time. Maybe that's why they put on Georgia and Toby, thinking that they could pull from the Love Island Games excitement. But it's like, no, we just saw them. We want to see other people.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. All right, so Maya Jama shows up and shows up, but she has her little talk show moment with Jake. How do you feel about this instead of After Sun, kind of like an exit interview?
Oh, is that what they were? I was trying to understand what that was. Like, was this in lieu of After Sun? Yeah. Is this what we're going to do for every single person that leaves?
I believe so.
Is it just like a Oprah sit down for Jake? Like, I wasn't.
I think the Oprah sit down is for dumped Islanders.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're going to do, if there's two people that are dumped, if they'll do both at the same time, or it'll be one and then one. But I believe I heard that she's going to be doing this after the Islanders get dumped.
Okay, well, I mean, I love to see Maya, so whenever she comes on my screen, I'm happy. Good riddance, Jake. Hope you have a safe flight home.
He says he stayed true to himself and that he made the right decision, and he's not a dater. And I was like, okay, so like, why are you on a dating show?
Yeah.
And he's not chasing anyone. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think that I think he did mature because he realized very quickly that he did not need to be there.
Well, because like, he doesn't know how to date and he doesn't want to. And
he's like, and I'm not going to pursue anyone. I should not be here.
Right.
And that's what he learned in his meditation.
Maybe he connected being like, oh my God, if I'm here, I'm just going to be leading someone on because I don't want a relationship.
And he's already done it once before. So he realized that, I don't want to repeat the same narrative. And I have learned something from that experience. So I think that was the only way he could go out.
All right. Well, happily he's gone. I didn't really care for him to be there in the first place. So this worked out. We see Lewis cuddling with Demi, and apparently she's passed the test. I don't know. I don't really like them together, to be honest.
Lewis really annoys me. Like, I don't like the veneers. I don't like his demeanor. There's just something very smarmy about him. And I don't like it. I don't like him.
Yeah, I haven't put my finger on what it is. It could be the veneers.
He's just a bit smug. He's just really smug in every interaction. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I think he just knows that he's really good looking.
Yeah. But
do you think that he is a mixed race man that has a white mom?
You might be onto something. You may be onto something. Google's.
Because what I was just noticing, I haven't, made a thesis about this yet and had a lot of evidence, but it seems as though, where was I reading this? I either read something or saw something. Anyways, I don't remember how I got this information, but Black or mixed race men that have a white mom, they end up learning from that they have like the confidence of like white people, and then they also then kind of get a bit of like the harsh realities of the world as a Black person, but they still have the white privilege, and so they kind of just move differently than if they had a Black mother that would be teaching them a little bit differently on how to act as a Black man in this world.
No, I definitely agree. And I feel like I've read articles about this. I've seen people like talking heads talk about this as well. I mean, and then also just social media generally, right? Like we have this awareness that like mixed race people with a white mom, they do move differently through the world, right? Because the mother tends to take on most of the caregiving role in traditionally, whether or not the parents are together or not. And your mother can't really teach you those aspects of your culture, right? And we know just men in general, I mean, it's changing definitely with like these newer dads, but like men in general are less involved in like really teaching their children about like their families. Like we always like joke about like, you're always closer to your mom's family than to your father's family, even if they are close to their family. It's just, there's something about it. Like the man leaves his family and goes into a new relationship, and the woman brings her partner into her world. So I think that's probably why, if that is the case, the mixed race kids with white moms have the confidence of a white woman.
Right? And they don't, I mean, it's good for them in the sense that like they
to have that audacity. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Because I say this to my sisters all the time, especially now working in this corporate world, and I see how white people move. And I'm like, oh, nobody ever told you had to be better than anybody. So this is why you're just here wasting my time and don't feel any way about it. Like, like you have no shame coming to me saying you didn't do your job, you don't plan on doing your job, and here am I putting so much pressure on myself trying to be perfect. I was like, I just need to move like they do.
But like, can you though?
Well, I mean, the fact that I've been in my company for long enough, I can a little bit now, but like in the beginning, that was really something I couldn't do, right? Like I always had to really show up in a much more professional way. But now I've been there long enough. I'm like, no. I'm doing what the whites do, which is the absolute bare minimum. Show up to a meeting prepared for what?
Oh my goodness. I'm stressed out here for you.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I've learned from working.
Lewis. Have you found his familial breakdown?
Well, I looked it up. I Googled no, and all I'm finding is his baby mother's break silence. Nothing about his actual
read
mother.
that. Let me hear that while I take a little gander here.
Okay. Where is this? Okay. Where did this break silence?
Oh, just so you know, Chris is a Leo.
Oh, okay.
Just so
Lewis Morrison's baby mothers break silence on Love Island appearance and claim he left girlfriend for show. I mean, I believe that. Okay, so his baby mothers allege that he has a girlfriend on the outside world. Also, the fact that this article keeps referring to them as baby mothers is messy as hell. Like,
how do you politely state who they are?
I mean,
you
could say exes or like child's mother or the mothers of his children. Baby mothers is just very dismissive. It's like, you know what you were doing. Like, stop. It's like two of his exes with whom he has children, if this was a reputable journalistic endeavor. Okay, so he's the father of two children, Vienna with Beach and Romeo with Elizabeth. Okay.
What was the first name?
Vienna.
Okay.
And Romeo. It's giving iambic pentameter, both of them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
mm-hmm.
both women have taken to social media to break their silence over the 29-year-old's second shot on Love Island. Okay. Chloe has previously blasted Lewis for not paying child support. I believe that. Does he work?
He was a footballer, so okay. I don't know. Probably not.
All right. And
that's probably why he's back on the show, is to like get some more endorsement stuff, kind of thing.
Yes. And then there's a viral TikTok video that showed both Callie.
Oh my God, I'm seeing his teeth beforehand. They're so cute. They just look so much better.
Yeah, I don't like his.
They call them turkey teeth.
Yeah, that I do not like turkey teeth.
Okay, I thought they were called turkey teeth because when they get filed down, it looks like I don't know, turkey legs or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's because they go to Turkey to get them done.
That's where you go to get all the good procedures. Yeah, you got to go to Turkey. Yeah. Well, you can get procedures for an affordable price. Mm-hmm. Anything you want.
Hi, Mary. Mary's asking where Johnny Middlebrooks is. At least he's hot.
Thank you.
And he has energy.
Because Johnny was a menace, but he was nice to look at.
Mm-hmm. And he did stuff. He wasn't just so boring. Mary also says Toby and Callum really think that they are the it boy, and they are not. Mm-hmm. And Mary says former footballer on Love Island equals unemployed.
Exactly. This man does not work. Because, what professional anything is allowing you to take a 6-week break to go and be on TV?
Yeah, no, nobody.
It needs to be ex-footballer.
Right? So Demi gets good vibes from Lewis. I was like, okay, well, your red flag radar is broken. Anton and Georgia are having a little chin wag, and they weren't each other's first choice, but they still want to get to know each other. And you could tell that Georgia is just forcing herself to be interested in this man. She's not interested in him, but she's trying.
I just don't even know why she's trying, because it's mean. I mean, it's mean to Anton, and it's also going to make Toby lose interest, right? I don't know.
Oh wait, which Georgia was this? This was Georgia Harrison, I think.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think it was Georgia Harrison.
Okay.
Because she's we weren't each other's first choice, but I'm really giving it a go. I'm really to try this out or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I mean, I know she's just being open-minded and not closing all doors, but she's just started that into him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see Kaz talking about Lewis's tattoos and looking at him with hearts in her eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought she knew that he wasn't that into her, and she clocked it.
No, free Kaz, honestly. free Kaz. I think that she's really trying, and I will give that to her. She's trying to make the best out of a bad situation, but Kaz, just hold on. Someone will come in for you. Lewis is not the one. I don't want you to be putting your energy into him. Mm-hmm. Just leave this man alone.
He does ask her though if she's ever had anyone put a tattoo on their body for her, and she's like, not yet. Yeah, they're flirting. She was flirting, but then he was kind of not picking it up, but and then making it slightly awkward. I was just kind of like,
every single interaction, it feels like he's humoring her, and it also looks to me as if she can see that on her, on his face. She has this look of wait, why are you not giving me back what I want? So I don't know why she keeps going towards him, because it seems like she gets it. It seems like she understands that he's not as into her,
but maybe not enough.
Yeah.
Hi, Fernando. Fernando says the Sun reported that Tyler might be going to
no,
and it's not over for Kaz. But I don't want her to go back to him.
I just immediately, as the second his name came up, I pictured those plaid skinny pants. I can't unsee them.
Do you think he's gonna pack those again?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope that he's given up those pants, but no, it's just seared into my brain. Ooh.
So Toby asks Molly, do you still fancy him? And who says you look so handsome? You too. Oh, wait, this is Cart when they started couples therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So he does say that to her, and she was complaining because when she would say to Callum, like, oh, like, you look so handsome, he would just say you too, or ditto, or he would never compliment her. And so this was what she found annoying about him. And then she's like screeching when they're like talking, and then he comes over and she's just screeching. I was like,
yeah,
I don't know what's happening
really
here.
Didn't like that whole interaction. And it really felt to me like Callum was trying to get to the bottom of some things between them. And, it seemed like he wanted to just give her a nice compliment and keep it moving. But then it turned into couples therapy. And it felt like, wanted to get everyone on her side by proving how she was right in that breakup. And in doing so, she was just talking down to him in this way that was so patronizing and disgusting. And I'm like, oh, I see now why he broke up with you. Because if every conversation you had was like this, like, of course you would want to get away from it. Yeah.
It's annoying. But like, I still don't know what actually happened. But like,
yeah,
how they were resolving it would be enough to make me break up with them.
I feel like they were constantly having arguments and she was making him feel like shit. And he broke up with her because he didn't want it to continue.
And he said, so it's my fault then? She said, yeah. So I was like, oh. So right after this little group fight spat thing where Toby's like thinks it was like, oh, it's really good to have like an open discussion like this. I'm like, not really, but okay, Toby. She gets pulled by Chris to go to the terrace, and she couldn't walk up the stairs because her dress was too tight at the bottom. So she's like sideways like a mermaid, like going up the stairs. I thought it was funny. And Chris's way into a sexy conversation was talking about asking her if she's ever dreamed of a superhero. I was like, okay, Chris. And then he asked her to stare into each other's eyes for 2 minutes because then they're going to maybe fall in love.
And so he made that up because it's actually 4 minutes.
It's 4 minutes, and then it's also that whole quiz of all those questions.
Yeah, of all the questions, like however many 40 or 50 questions that you asked to fall in love. I've Googled that too, Chris. You're not slick.
Have you done the questions?
No, because you really have to get the other person to buy in because they're not just questions that you can just like throw out.
Yeah, it's like
and just like, slowly, just like
what scares you the most about dying, and how would you not want to die? You're just like, oh.
You know what? Actually, to be fair, I might try this. I'm going to try this on the new guy that I'm dating because he loves an existential question. So I'm going to see if I can convince him.
Or, oh my God, do you want to fall in love with him though? What if it works?
Wow, we're going to be having a reality realness wedding.
Yes, I'm in. I love a good wedding. Okay, so they do stare at each other's eyes for 2 minutes, and then they kiss. The kiss looked decent from my vantage point. And that was the end of the episode. We get a little preview that an all-star bombshell is going to be returning to the series. It's Josh from series 1. And I said, go take Georgia Steele, please. Please. That's who I want Josh to go for.
I really want him to take her, but unfortunately, I do not foresee that.
Boo. All right, so episode 4 happens, and we hear Chris talking about the kiss, and he really was feeling something. I think that's when he says that, it's a little bit later, he talks about he was trying to think about Margaret Thatcher, and basically
naked.
That he had an erection, and he couldn't make it go down. Fernando says Josh is like if wait, it was Jax? What was it? How did he say
Jax? His name was pronounced Jax, spelled Jacques.
Jacques. Okay, and Scott had a baby. Yeah, except he's older than both of them.
Well, exactly. Josh is the prototype. These kids don't know. Josh was the OG. He was the OG Scott, or he was the OG. No, he's actually the OG Jax, really, because I think personality-wise, he was much more like Jax. And Josh has been through it. He dated Charlotte, as we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's dated everyone. He
was on X on the
Josh
beach.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrity X on the beach. He was
exactly,
on.
Yeah.
I'm not into him, but like he has a little bit more personality.
Exactly. Like when you think all-stars, for me, Josh is an all-star. Josh is an all-star, 100%.
I can see that for sure. So we see Kaz is seeing that Lewis is more into talking to other girls, and she's talking with Hannah about this, and so she sees that he talks to other people more than her. So take a hint, Kaz. But I guess she wants to at least be pursuing something.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that also probably being friends with Liberty, like she's probably trying to tell herself, like, don't be a Liberty, like, don't beat yourself up and say that you're out just because he's talking to someone else, even though in her gut she knows like he's more interested in this person. So
Callum retelling their fight to Lewis, his fight with Molly in front of everybody, and he feels that she's just making him look like a dickhead, which she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If she wants him back, she's not really going about it the right way.
And it's interesting also in that, what was it? I think it was earlier when she had kissed Chris on the terrace and he was trying to get some more insight into what was happening between her and Callum. Her response wasn't, no, I'm not here for this, or, we're doing our own thing. Her response was, we'll see how he behaves when another girl comes in for him. So, like, Molly, what are you doing?
It's like, that's your test? Like, if you want him, tell him that you want to be with him and let's work on a relationship.
Yeah. Because if he's trying to make him jealous with Chris, it's just going to blow up in your face. Because Chris is obviously such a lovely guy, and he is so sought after in the villa. The whole villa is going to be mad at you if you play with Chris.
I mean, and the audience too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Molly goes to the guys, Toby, Mitch, and Anton, and they're basically like, "Ooh, you have like a smile," and she's like trying to brush off the fact that she just had the kiss with Chris. And then Molly goes over to Kaz and Hannah and tells them about the kiss with Chris, but she's unsure about the spark, and he's made his move, but like he's not sure how she feels about it. Now, I'm wondering if she is confusing spark with red flag and Chris is a green flag. And so maybe because like the kiss didn't look spark free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if she maybe allowed herself to be interested in him, like maybe something would actually develop. But I think that she might be attracted to red flags.
No, absolutely. I mean, as so many of us are.
I mean,
or reformed.
We're reformed.
Yeah, but like we get to it a bit later in the episode where she talks about she doesn't really understand his style of like flirting, right? I think that she's used to guys putting it on her very aggressively and being a bit more performative in terms of their sexiness. So she doesn't get this laid back kind of funny back and forth that he's doing. And I think that's just really kind of confusing her.
Mary here saying is if Molly was an OG and Callum was a Casa Moore guy, she would not have wasted her breath on him. I could maybe agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because like the Casa Moore girls really have to, if they want to get into that villa, they have to put in some work, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if she would be putting in that much effort into him as an OG.
And also equally, like, would he put that much effort into her? Because have we seen Callum do anything so far these 4 episodes?
Nothing. Chris does talk to the guys and they're basically saying like, you're going to have to tell Callum. You're going to have to tell Callum. It's like, and then Molly is crying and he sees Molly crying. And I said, I'm surprised that Chris and Cal were wearing Birkenstocks. I was surprised. I like a good Birkenstock, not knocking the Birkenstocks.
Well, I've noticed that though. I was surprised as well.
I was like, I definitely don't see Callum in a Birkenstock.
Yeah.
But Chris, maybe I could see. But when I saw both of them, I was like, this is wild.
The kids love an orthopedic shoe these days.
Where is the
Birkenstocks
Crocs,
are blowing up on TikTok.
Crocs are still in though, right?
Crocs are still in, but I think that the Birkenstock is for the mature man who needs to make sure their plantar fasciitis does not flare up.
Yeah, they're bunions,
Chris is 33. He's basically middle-aged.
He knows he needs a comfortable sandal.
Exactly.
The flip-flops gave him some arthritis or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch and Liberty are talking, and he kind of says that he likes her, but then he's also saying like, oh, but I'm still talking to other people. And then she says, I know my worth. I didn't understand that conversation.
I think she's trying to say, like, I'm not going to be a second option. Like, if you have other options, like, don't think I'm going to be sitting here waiting. Okay, firstly, Liberty, you're lying to yourself and to us, because we all know that's not true. Like, you will be. Like, because then you spent the whole episode moping after him, watching him talk to other people. So if you know your worth, go talk to someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
because she was the one that told us she was interested in Chris. Has she spoken to him yet?
So Fernando's clocking the producers here, saying that their obsession with Love Island producers making Molly the main character of the first week of the season. They love a Molly.
Yeah, they really do, actually.
They love Molly.
And we see how that backfired.
So Rue here is saying, unfortunately, Fincham has been going through it. DUI, OD. I didn't hear you OD'd. Oh my God. Rescind from games. Banned by Allstars. Okay. Brand deal's gone. Man needs rehab, not rejects.
Oh,
Does
no.
have a lovely personality, though. Seems real. Poor chap. Aw.
Well, let's pray for Fincham, because I really enjoyed him on his season. And I've been following a little bit of his like boxing career and his like glow up since then. So I would have liked to have seen him on this season. And as we said, I feel like he could have been great with Hannah, but seems like he's got other things going on.
Fernando here is saying, thoughts on Gemma Owen potentially coming back. She hasn't posted on social media in weeks. Womp womp.
Girl, like, she annoyed me on her season, and she is going to annoy me again. And I know that the men are going to love her.
You think Kuzer go for her, Mitch?
Oh, yeah. Mitch is okay. Of the men that are there now, Anton's going for sure. Mitch is for sure.
Toby probably. She's still only 19, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, we've had this
29 and 19 is not working for me.
No, I don't think it'll work, but I think that they'll definitely go for it. Men are crazy like that. So she's not for me, though.
So Toby in his big mouth tells Callum about the rumor about the kiss. And I was like, man, you're messy, Toby.
Why would he do that? Just say you know.
Right? Getting ready for... I think with him saying it's a rumor, it doesn't look like he completely told on what Chris had said, you know?
Yeah, but did Chris even tell him directly? I thought it was Anton who told him.
I don't know. I think that they were all together, but I don't know.
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're all getting ready for bed, and we see Liberty being like, you know what, I'm going to be extra sexy tomorrow. And I'm like, I mean, that's like, do that. Be extra sexy, but like, don't be like waiting for him to look at you. Like,
I thought you knew your worth. I thought
you gotta pay them no mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard, but like, you gotta just like they're blocked off. Don't give them any attention or energy. We see Toba and Georgia still cuddling, and in the morning, Kaz is realizing that she's not getting anything back from Lewis. Ding, 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 ding. What do you think about these mixed gender morning chats?
I like them. I've always wanted to see them, honestly. I always found it annoying that there was always the men and the women segregated having their little chats, especially when there's so much like beef between them. Like, you know, the girls are often going for the same guy. So it's nice to be able to have them mix and get different perspectives. And also the men need female perspective a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying this format.
Yeah, in the original series, I liked it, obviously, just like for nostalgia purposes, but I am not really liking this season. So it adds something. Yeah, it adds something. I do. Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Fernando wanted to give Callum a hug. He looks so sad this episode. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls a Jake too. Maybe.
Yeah.
So Lewis is planning on getting to know Demi and Kaz. I'm like, he doesn't want to get to know Kaz, but he's just saying that. They're asking, what's your situation? This is to Hannah, and Hannah's like, I've got nothing. It's like, why you know that she has nothing going on? Like, why are you patronizing poor woman? I kissed her. Does Callum know? Wait, what? Does Callum know? Oh, Chris is saying this. And like, obviously Callum is gonna know in like a second. Like, there's nothing, no secrets in the villa.
It's too small. Everyone can see everything.
So Toby does say sorry to Molly about telling Callum, and Toby's not sorry. I think like Toby realizes that like, well, if I can't have a relationship on the show, I need to cause some drama, or it's like, they're not going to ask me to do anything else. I'm not going to come back. Antom is talking with Callum about the kiss. Like, who cares about this stupid kiss? Like, I'm not.
I mean, because it's the most exciting thing that's happened so far, because none of the men are taking any risks, or the women have been grafting, and like, he's the only one that's made a move.
It's true. And like, it's with the it girl, Molly.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. So Demi, Georgia, and Toby are trying to cheer Molly up, telling her how she's like so gorgeous and that she's the best. And, like,
why was she crying?
Because she doesn't like Chris, and she doesn't, and I think that she likes Callum, but she doesn't want this kiss with Chris to potentially stop her and Callum from potentially getting back together, I guess.
Okay. Well, she did not articulate that well, and I feel bad for Chris because you haven't communicated to him either.
No, and he's still interested big time, and you're like, Anton asks Hannah for some sisterly advice. It's like, wow, we're not even putting her in the friend zone, putting her in the relative zone.
I know. I felt like that was crazy. Like, Anton, why did you do that?
And then teaching him how to flirt, I was like, oh my Lord. I mean, she's actually good. Like, you know, she's just like, no, put your hat. Like, definitely touching somebody is very, very helpful in the flirting department. Remember we were calling that with AL, where it's like the fact that he just put his hand on Sally's knee.
Exactly. He just got right in there, and then it makes that person feel comfortable. It gives them that bit of like grounding and physical reassurance. So they're like, okay, I can lean into this a bit more. Like,
absolutely. Because like you say, oh, you put your hand here, and it's like, oh, that means that like that's kind of a go ahead for me to get a little bit more comfortable in your space. And like that's then you start kind of moving towards each other. That happens. So yes, I definitely agree with her saying to like touch her knee or something and like look at her lips, and she's like, don't look at my lips because
she's so funny. Honestly, I want someone to come in for her too.
I don't know who it'd be though. Anton thinks Georgia H is like him. Really? Do you see that?
No.
Like a male version of him or female version of him?
Not at all. Because also, isn't her whole thing that she wants to be out on the scene and like go to events and go to premieres, and like Anton seems pretty like low key to me.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be that guy. But then Georgia and Anton just like, you know, he goes and meets up with her, and they start kind of cuddling together on the lawn chair. It didn't look like they fit in each other.
No, but I was happy that he took direction well. Because he was right in there. They shared the seat. He put his arm around her, and he tried.
And then tell me about your past relationships. It's like, oh my God.
No, like, that's not the conversation.
No, don't have that conversation.
Yeah.
No. Like, why? Like, what about things you like to see if you guys can get along? Talk about your favorite movie. Maybe you can't talk about branded things or whatever, but like, talk about a vacation that you had once and like something amazing that you did that you love so much. Like, I don't know.
Make it a bit lighthearted and fun, like a little bit flirty, like, you know, or talk about, I don't know, like, so how much are you liking this time more than last time? And you're like, yeah, because
anything back other than their previous relationships. It doesn't matter, like in your first conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
I don't think, anyways. So Callum does pull Molly, and I believe she said he kissed me, but then later on in the episode, he says, well, she hasn't told me about the kiss. Like, does he mean like details? Or like how she feels about him? He doesn't understand?
Or was she?
I thought she was clear.
Was Callum talking about Chris saying that he hasn't told me? Because she definitely told him. Molly told Callum first thing in the morning. So I thought that when he said I thought he was talking about Chris, saying that Chris hadn't told him about it yet, but he knew. But maybe I misheard that.
Or maybe that is another conversation. But I feel like maybe we'll see when I get to there in the notes. But But yeah, so he knows that he kissed her, and like they didn't really resolve that whole conversation because then Chris interrupts them. Wait, no. Was he there? I don't know. Chris wants a shanton. He interrupts, I guess it was Georgia and Anton on the chair.
Oh, yes.
Anton.
Yes.
So I guess it's a chat with Anton. Talking about mixed messages. And I'm like, well, yeah, she is giving you mixed messages for sure. Then Hannah gets a text. She's very excited about this text. She's shaking. And Georgia's like, yeah, she really is shaking. And so Georgia S, Hannah, and Georgia H are all going to be going on a date. They're all very excited. I was like, why not Kaz? Interesting.
Yeah, well, we know why not Kaz.
I know why not Kaz. But like, why wouldn't they choose somebody to come in as a bombshell?
For her?
Interested in Kaz.
Because the production does not give a shit about Kaz. Right. Only we as viewers care about the fact that there is no one in there for her.
Ooh, Mary asks, I watched the first episode of Love Island Games. Is it good? Should I keep watching? It's excellent.
It good?
It's the best. It's good. Watch it all tonight, please, and or like in the next couple of days, and come back and tell us your thoughts.
Yes,
it's definitely better than this.
100. Oh yeah. And definitely. I've always been firmly team Love Island UK over Love Island US, but Love Island Games has really usurped them.
Yeah, and Rue is agreeing with us. Beyond good. Watch and spread the word. Needs international acclaim instead of this BS. Ooh, facts. So the girls are all getting ready. We see that Toby is slightly annoyed that Georgia is going on a date. It's like,
what have you done to deserve this annoyance? Like, you have her in the bed, you're snuggling, whatever. Like, she's giving you all of her attention. Like, you haven't done anything.
Should be enough.
Yeah.
Mary, yes, you're welcome. Seriously. So Josh is from season 1. Georgia Steele is his first date. And she's like, oh, I can't believe that you picked me. Like, I'm the most coupled up out of anybody that's in here.
And he doesn't know that. It's been 3 days. Like, calm down.
Well, he says that he likes challenges. But she was worried because he's linked to her ex. So her ex as in Sam Bird?
I think so. I did some Googling during the episode. And I think that's the one.
Sam Bird. Okay. Sam Bird is also married now to Kayla from the challenge. Just to keep it incestuous.
There is no reason for you to be concerned about an affiliation to the ex.
Exactly. Like he's married. He's moved on. Unless she's the one that got away. I don't know. But no, he's married now. Like, who cares? Sorry, Georgia. He's turning 30. He still looks like a baby.
He does. He really has a baby face and this little like blue eyes. Like, he looks so young. But at the same time, he looks the same age as when we first met him 8 years ago. Yeah.
Well, like, he looks the same age. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, when he's like, he's turning 30, I'm like, you're not 18 or 20. Yeah. Like, yeah, he looks the same. So Hannah is up next, and she's excited to see Josh. They're from the same first season together. He said that he had been a party animal, but he got all the partying out of his system, and now he really wants to settle down. They're feeding each other fruit, and when she leaves, he asked her, "Did you get your ass done?"
I like that. But this is exactly the kind of cheeky, chappy energy that she needs. She needs someone who's going to be bold and not afraid to like address the gigantic balloons in the room. Her boobs are so big. And, you know, because she doesn't take herself that seriously, right? She looks like she might, but she is super easygoing and lighthearted. And I thought that was a really cute little flirty moment.
It was cute and funny. So back to Villa, we do see Chris addressing the elephant in the room, not Hannah's boobs. And Molly is finding it confusing how Chris is interacting with her. Like, he's funny, and then he's flirting, and then he's flirting, and he's funny. Like, does she just need a boring guy? Like, I feel like it's very easy to read what he's doing.
She's just not cool enough, honestly. She she doesn't know how to date someone who has a personality. And that's why she's confused, right? She's being used to dating boring. Well, I mean, not to be rude to Callum, but Callum, you're boring. Like boring, handsome men, and who only are interested in her because she is attractive, right? So she's never had to have a personality back.
Right. I guess like was it you that was saying that people that are less attractive, like they're funny and they have personalities, and so like they're better daters.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Because if you grew up being conventionally attractive, like the way that we value like people's aesthetics and like the way that they look in society, like you never fully develop as a person. Like, unfortunately, that's not always the case. But I find that if you were a little bit
too good looking, then you have right.
Growing up, then you had to have a personality because
and then if you have a glow up on top of that, like you're like
exactly. That's the ideal person nowadays is like maybe you were fat and then you had a glow up and now you're just like you've got the personality of your inner child that was bullied. Yes. And the outward beauty of the conventional, I guess, attractiveness of society.
So yeah, she never had to develop a personality, and then she just is attracted to people that don't have personalities because everybody's attracted to her, and so she doesn't have to do much to like. But man, like I would just not be able to be into Callum because he's just so boring. Like I love people that are smart and people that are funny and people that are like wild and adventurous. Like I'm just like, what would we do together? What would we talk about?
Exactly. That's the thing for me. The big one for me is conversations. Like I need to be able to like talk about, super deep like topics, but also at the same time have fun and to laugh. And like if we can't like debate something, because I just love to argue for no reason, like then what are we gonna do?
Exactly. Did you find that Olivia Atwood in the commercial like is unrecognizable?
Yeah, but so from that commercial, all I was able to gather was that maybe that's the point of the show. Because it seemed like they were talking about her veneers and how they were too big and too wide. And I was like, is the point of the show kind of breaking her down and breaking down all of the work that she has had done?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a short clip, but
I didn't look at what the title of the episode or the show was, so I'm like,
it was something like I'm gonna look it up now, but it was something to do with perfection, and so it made me feel
I was looking at it. I was like trying to find her face, and I couldn't recognize her face really. You know what I mean? When you're just like, I know what you look like, but it's not here. I can't see it right now, and so I couldn't see her. She just looks very different to me.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the show is called The Price of Perfection. So I have a feeling that it's all about why she does not look like what she looked like when we first met her.
Right. Chris and Callum hug at some point. I guess they're just talking about, or after they were talking about him kissing Molly, and Callum's okay with it. Finally, Georgia Harrison has a date with Josh, and I didn't understand this story, but maybe she kind of explained it later. But they were supposed to go on a date, and then she had a table, and then he didn't stay at her table.
So that's not what I got from it. I got she had a table at a club in Ibiza, and he went ahead with a bunch of people and basically took it over, and somehow they got separated, and then he didn't like look for her or make sure that she got in or whatever else. Like that's what it felt like to me. Like he basically took her table
and bumped me off my table. So bumped me off my table. So maybe he was more of a celebrity, and so like when he came in with like I'm gonna spend $10,000 on bottles, and so like
they were like, okay, we want him over you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or she had a table, and then he just went and got another table and didn't get her to come over to his.
I don't know, but like that with the context that she gives us later about the fact that they had been dating and hooking up, I was like, so did you go to this event together or not?
I don't know. I'm still confused by it.
Because imagine you're dating someone, you go to a club where you have your name on a table, and then they bump you off it with a group of other people, meaning your boyfriend has left to go party at the place that you had planned the party without you. I mean, that's a block for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I probably never speak to him again. She probably thought she'd never speak to him again. Now they're on Love Island together. So interesting. She does so she doesn't understand what happened there. Neither do we. And she tells him about Anton. And I'm like, are you trying to make him jealous? Like, I'm not sure what's going on here, Georgia. But just a little mini date here. Back at the villa, Callum and Lewis are chatting. And yeah, he says she hasn't told me about Chris, is what I wrote down.
Oh. But she
so
definitely
maybe
did.
How she feels, like, or enough.
I don't
know.
I think that could be what he was talking about, because she told him about the kiss for sure, but she hasn't explained, like, do I like him? Am I taking this seriously? Or like, is this like going to be a thing?
So Josh returns with the ladies, and there's a girls' chat and a boys' chat. I love hearing Josh saying, my head is on a swivel. Like, yes, like, own the fact that you are actually going to bounce around a little bit. I'm fine with people not, like, locking it down. But the way that Toby does it, it's just like, you are not actually playing the field to find somebody.
Toby's just looking for whoever's going to give him the most attention.
Probably. Yeah. So they're all getting ready for the night. Georgia thinks that Toby has to grab her or something. And she's saying this to Anton. And Anton's like, well, I just don't think he's that type of guy. And it's like, every guy is that type of guy to a certain extent.
Yeah, and Anton, that's why you don't get any girls either. Like, sorry. Like, if you think that that's a thing.
Is nothing sexier about a guy that you're into that kind of takes ownership of you. You know what I mean? It's like, wants to make it clear that you're theirs or they're interested. Like, you know what I mean? It's very, very attractive.
Yeah.
So she wants to feel attractive with Kobe, that he wants to pursue her. He wants to pull her over and grab her because he wants to spend time with her, feel connected to her. Like, this whole, like, just sitting beside each other is so middle school.
No, I mean, because Toby, I think the issue is that he is lacking self-confidence. And I now, like, thinking back through his relationship with Chloe and how she was the one that did all the pursuing, right? Like, he doesn't know how to pursue, and he's never had to do that. But, like, that's what we want. Like, as women, we want that. Just like, yeah, give me a little bit of that, like a little bit of possessiveness, like a teensy bit, because it's a fine line between, like, this is toxic and a red flag.
It's just a little like,
it's the energies. Like, just give me like a little waist grab, you know? Like,
oh my god, like, this is one guy that's talking to. Every time he'd walk by, and like, he would just touch my lower back, and I was like, oh,
exactly, right?
Like, hi. Okay.
Absolutely.
Nobody noticed it, but like, I did. You know what I mean? You're like, he was showing that he was interested by just a little graze of my lower back when he was walking by. That doesn't take a lot of effort.
Exactly. But
at all.
I think Toby's too in his head, you know? He's too in his head, and he's a little bit insecure, and that's why he's expecting his partner to do all of the work to show that they're the ones that are interested, because he doesn't see that, okay, it's a two-way street, and that she also needs to get that same energy back.
God, he's so annoying. I said, she thinks Josh has nice eyes. Oh, I said for
Liberty. Oh, of course you think he has nice eyes. Like, what? Like, Liberty, does she have like some kind of radar? We're just like, who is the worst person for me?
She's not gonna be able to handle this one.
No.
She does think that but she is opening her. Oh, she's opening up her options for Mitch. Okay, good, but like,
no, you're not. But okay, sure. Keep lying to yourself.
Sure, libs. All I had to say though, Josh has energy, and like, you see Kaz and Liberty in red. They're both in red, and they both looked fired. Like, they looked both very, very, very good. And they're talking with Josh, and like, he's talking about how he has businesses and he's doing well, and he says that the guys are acting like they're a bunch of virgins.
Absolutely, though. And
I love that he clocked it.
Yeah.
He's like, what are
and so doing? Quickly as well, because what do you mean we've been here for 4 or 5 days and there's only been one kiss, and it was Chris?
It's like, they're acting like they're a bunch of virgins.
Yeah. And not the second, this is your second time around. You've already done this. You know how quickly the show moves and how quickly things can change and how quickly people can get dumped. Like, you would think that they would have more urgency.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, maybe Josh coming in there and just like he'll go talk to this girl and and have every girl just kind of like eye flutters over him. Like, maybe you'll give them a little bit of like a, put a fire under their ass.
I think the only person that he could really, or the only people that he could really,
Georgia and Toby.
Exactly. Yeah, Georgia and who was the other one?
Anton or Toby? Which Georgia?
Toby. Yeah. So I think that both of the Georgias, and then I feel like, I mean, I can see him talking to Molly for sure. But you know what I mean.
He has swag though. Like, he would be able to get Molly.
Oh, he can get a Molly easy.
Easily, and that could be a problem. That'd be okay. I hope I don't want her to be the it girl, but like,
just to see if it can change up some of the dynamics. But I mean, we're gonna get to the end of the episode, but I think that even that is gonna really shake things up.
Ooh. So Georgia, H, and Anton are talking again, and she says she does mention to him that there was a romantic history between her and Josh. And I was like, I think that was basically her saying, like, I'm going to probably try to pursue him. Sorry, Anton. Like, my door's not closed to Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at least she was transparent. She let him know, like, I mean, it would be one thing if Josh hadn't come in, but now that he's here, like, that's information you need to know. We have unfinished business.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to happen to Anton again. He's going to be like, I'm not the chosen one.
I mean, Anton, I don't know what his issue is, but this is not the right platform for him.
No. So Lewis and Kaz are talking again, and she was like being all flirty and like coquettish with her like smile and looking into his eyes.
I hated this whole scene.
Well, she's like saying, he was being like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to decide? And she's like, well, if you want me to decide, I can, but you have to decide this. Like, I can't make this decision for you. And then they're talking about like, well, I haven't been up to the terrace yet. And like, he's like, oh, maybe we can go up there tonight. I'm like, why are you leading this woman on? Like, you don't want to go up to the terrace with her.
No, I mean, and also, Kate, he very obviously does not want to go up to the terrace because she suggested it or said, I haven't been up there yet. He laughed in your face. And then she said, why is that funny? Sorry, if I said, take me to the secret sexy spot where everyone does the kissing and someone laughed in my face, I would get up. Like, the conversation would not be continued.
I'd be like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm out of here. Bye.
No.
So yeah, that's most likely not happening. Hannah and Liberty have another chat, and she does feel like he's more into Demi, and Demi is his number one. That's true. Like, at this point, it is true about Mitch. Mitch and Demi have a conversation, and he tells her that she's his top. But she doesn't think that Mitch is genuine, which is kind of Mitch's thing too, is that like, I don't know what his type is, what he actually likes, what he's like in a relationship. Like, it's all false to me. So I can understand her feeling that vibe or lack of vibe with him. But he says that he's just going to graft her and not Liberty. He's just going to focus on her. And I was like, well, she don't care about you, but you do that, bitch. So then Demi goes to cuddle with Lewis. And Lewis says she's a nice girl, and I'm like, so you're friend zoning her with Demi, but you're not saying this to her face. That's rude.
Sorry, I just need to talk about the fact that he laughed in Kaz's face and then took Demi to the terrace in the span of an hour.
Yeah,
I know. Get him off my screen.
And then, so, like, they were, like, flirting and talking and staring each other's eyes. And I was like, oh, my God, just kiss already. It's so annoying. And then I was like, wow, they're seriously rolling around here.
Oh, yeah. They were like, tussling.
I was like, I mean, I really like her bodysuit, like her jumpsuit.
That outfit was really cute. I didn't
like her shoes, but like I like the cat suit of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, like that's like because I don't particularly like the new style of fast fashion that everybody wears. Like I just don't really like it. But this I'm into. I like a one piece. So they're tussling around or whatever, and at the same time, it seems like Liberty and Mitch are like, like around to be able to see this. And then I think while Liberty and Mitch were talking, I said he is going to dump Lib and Demi wants Lewis. Yeah. So I think that Mitch was about to dump Liberty in that conversation, and then it's going to screw everything over because Demi is going to be choosing Lewis because we're seeing them rolling around. And then they see Lewis return, and Mitch is like, did you see something? Did you see it? Did you see something?
It was just a chain of disrespectful events because middle of a conversation where you're talking to Liberty and she's trying to gauge like where your head's at, you're very clearly not interested in her because you saw Lewis come back because he was talking to your actual first choice and then just got up in the middle of the conversation. Yeah, like you didn't finish your conversation with Liberty.
And then he goes up to him like, did you kiss her? He's like, yes. Then Demi goes up to the dressing room. Was it Kaz and Liberty that were up there at that point?
No, it was Kaz and Chris, which was interesting. So I want to know what they were talking about because we don't really see them interact that often.
Maybe they could be a thing if we got lucky. But she went up to her dressing room to fix her lipstick. So Kaz now thinks that she kissed Lewis.
Of course she does, because the way that Demi came into that room, she was just like, I was just looking for my phone with the phone in her hand.
So then Kaz and Liberty are downstairs sitting. And Kaz is probably talking about the fact that she thinks that Lewis and Demi kiss. And then Demi comes up and is like, oh, can I join you guys? Are you guys talking about something really serious, appointment? And Kaz wanted to be like, F off for sure. But she's like, yes, I guess. Or something. Like she was totally dismissive and not really like open arms, like come and sit with us. And so she does for zero, like awkward, no talking whatsoever. And then Anton gets a text. Can all Islanders gather around the fire pit? There's going to be a recoupling, and the girls are choosing, but Josh gets to choose first.
I'm glad that Josh gets to choose first, because that's, I think, the only way that things are going to really get shaken up. I have a feeling, my predictions. I think Josh is going to choose Georgia Harrison. I think then I hope that Demi goes before Kaz, just to save Kaz, honestly. Because if Kaz chooses Lewis, I will snap. That man does not want you. You know he doesn't want you.
But is it better that she just gets last choice?
Whoever's
left over?
I think it is better.
It was going to be Anton?
Because it frees her up for when the next bombshell comes in, I think that she's going to be in a better position because she's going to be obviously in a friendship couple. And maybe it'll be more obvious to the producers that they have left her hanging for several weeks.
What happens if he chooses Georgia Steele and then Toby is left and Toby and Kat have to partner up again?
No, we need free Kaz, man. Honestly, free Kaz. I can't have any of those be like the realities.
She looks
because no one is choosing her. None of the men are choosing her, except for maybe Callum. We don't know anything about Callum's taste other than he liked Molly. And I'm still not sure.
And it could have been just like get out for you need somebody to get away from Shauna because Shauna had him locked in the basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it seems like just from that fight that we saw in the previous episode between the two of them, or I guess the therapy, whatever, it seems like he has some genuine concerns about Molly that she's not really owning up to. And I don't think that he would take this opportunity to choose her if he could. He's already done the one safe thing out of respect. It's been a week now or a couple days. I let you make out with this guy. Now it's time for me to move on.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Now, I I could maybe do a recap tomorrow. What's your schedule like tomorrow?
Ooh, actually, no. Tomorrow is not good for me.
Okay, great. I would be later if we were to do it. I fly, so I would be home after like 8:30 or so. So it would be like an
tomorrow.
time.
Ooh, I see. So unfortunately, I have my other TV club tomorrow night.
Oh, TV club! I didn't know. You would tell me more.
Yes, TV club. TV club has been going on since it was established in 2006. Actually, maybe earlier, but the Toronto iteration has been going since 2006.
Can I join?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Well, actually, hold on. We do have a questionnaire that needs to be filled out for all potential applicants. I will send that to you. It's
what kind of questions? Oh, what do I need to pass?
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it because my friend sent it to me recently because my new boyfriend was wondering if he could come, and I was like, I actually don't know if you will be accepted into the club because you don't just get to go to TV club. Okay, so here is one of the questions. Rank these snack foods in order of preference. Okay. One being the most favorable, and 3 being the least.
Okay.
Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle.
Okay.
Smart food, Gouda and chive. Smart food, sour cream and onion. There are only 3 selections.
I would do Miss Vicky's dill pickle. I think I'd do it in that order. Wait, what's the difference between the smart foods?
Gouda and chive or sour cream and onion?
I would do it that order. I find that's the order I would do it in.
That's the right order. That is the correct order.
Okay. One more.
Okay, one more. Okay. Does talking during a TV program bother you?
Depends on the program. Not really, though.
Okay,
depends
great.
on the program.
Excellent.
I'm not gonna be like shh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or sometimes it might be like, okay, one second. Let me just hear this. You know what I mean? I might do that, and then like full on chatting in the commercial.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. If an impromptu session of TV club is called, what do you show up with?
Probably some wine and some Miss Vicky's dill pickle.
Okay. All right. All right. These are great responses. I will take this back to the committee.
Thank you. I pass. Well, I'll definitely look into that because I need to, because I do so much reality TV coverage. Like I'm always just watching reality TV or recaps about reality television that I've really fallen behind on like scripted. This is for scripted shows, I'm assuming?
Well, we typically do some scripted shows, but it's a lot of reality. But like random, it's like difficult, like different things, like Love and Hip Hop, and like.
Okay, that's a blind spot of mine. Love and Hip Hop is a blind spot of mine. Ready to Love is a blind spot of mine. If you guys see that one.
That one.
Ready to Love.
We did Temptation Island. That was a good one. So we've never watched The Bachelor, but we do watch Bachelor in Paradise.
Okay. I mean, I'm in. Then I'm definitely educated now. I just Love and Hip Hop is my only real blind spot. And like, if Married to Medicine's another blind spot.
Oh yeah, Married to those are good ones. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We will find you some shows. Some blind spots.
Yes. Force me to watch more television. Well, thank you, Miss Mansa, for hanging out with me and catching up for these last 2 episodes. We probably will maybe catch up on Sunday if we can, or it might have to be Tuesday. It might be far away just because I'm flying quite a bit this weekend, but we'll figure it out how to get some recaps in. Do you have anything going on other than your TV club that you want to share?
Other than that, no. It's just been a crazy week at work, so I'm just trying to survive, man.
Trying to survive. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here. Anybody watching after, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let us know, who do you think Josh is going to pick? And maybe just see the breakdown of like, maybe who you think the order is going to be. So it's the women going to be picking after Josh. Who do you think is going to be left to the end? Who do you think Kaz is going to be paired up with? Like, give us your thoughts, your speculations, and we'll see you in a couple days. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye.